Inferno, Canto 16. Dante converses with several distinguished Florentines, Guido Guerra, Tegaio, Aldobrandi, Jacopo Rastucci. They inquire after the state of Florence. He takes off his girdle and gives it to Virgil, who throws it down into the abyss of the eighth circle. A horrible monster presently appears.
The murmur of the waters now I heard, as downward to the neighboring round they pour, and like the hum of bees the noise appeared, when from a band of spirits that passed by beneath the pelting of the fiery shower, 3 issued forth with great clarity. Towards us they came, and all at once cried, "Stand thou, whom I judge to be from thine attire, a native of our own degraded land. Ah me, what wounds upon their limbs I viewed, recent and old and cauterized by fire. My grief is at the very thought renewed." Hearing their cry, the teacher turned to me, exclaiming, "Let thy foot awhile be stayed, for to these souls is due some courtesy. And did the nature of the place permit which burls such fiery darts, I should have said that haste would rather thee than them befit." As we drew up, they all their ancient plaint commenced again, and when to us they came, all 3 a circle formed, and round they went, as champions stripped anointed for the fight, their hold and vantage scan with careful aim, ere they with blows together try their might. Thus wheeling round, did each to me his look direct, so that the neck and foot the while a contrary direction ever took. "And if," said one, "this wretched place forlorn, and our scorched faces sorrowful and vile, bring on ourselves and on our prayers thy scorn, still let our fame incline thy soul to tell who thou mayst be, that thus with living feet securely glides over the paths of hell. He in whose track I tread, though now he be all naked and deprived of skin, had yet far higher rank than would be deemed by thee." The grandson was he of Goldrata good, brave Guido Guerra, of distinguished fame. Great deeds he wrought by skill and hardihood. The other near to me that beats the sand is Tegaio Aldobrand, whose honored name should in the world above some praise command. And I, who with them am in torment placed, was Rastucci, and in truth my woe may to my haughty wife be chiefly traced. Could I have been protected from the fire, I should have thrown myself midst them below, nor would my guide have thwarted my desire. But since I dared not tempt the blasting flame, my wishes to embrace them were repressed, and fear my friendly eagerness o'ercame. I then began, "'Tis not disdain, but grief for you, sad fate, which penetrates my breast, and from the moment of my first belief, that persons like you were on their way, such import did my master's word imply, I felt a pang that time can scarce allay. Your country gave me birth, your names renowned are ever living in my memory, and still I love to hear your deeds resound. I leave the Gaul, and now my journey wend, to seek the promised fruit with this my guide, but to the center must I first descend. So may the spirit animate thy frame through many a year to come," he then replied, "and after death shine forth thy glorious name, as thou inform me whether to this day valor and courtesy our city grace, as they were wont, or are they cast away? For Bonzieri, whom thou viewest there, condemned but lately to this dismal place, gives us much pain by what he doth declare. Thee, Florence, have an upstart race and new, and sudden gains so filled with waste and pride, that thine excess thou dost already rue." Thus cried I, looking up, and they forsooth, who took this sentence for an answer, eyed each other, like to men who hear the truth. "If at all times an answer to bestow, with no more cost," they said, "to thee is given, O happy thou, from whom such accents flow. Wherefore, if thou escape these realms of night, and e'er return to see the stars of heaven, then when they say, 'I was,' shall give delight. Forget not to make mention of us there. This said, they broke the circle, and again their feet appeared like wings to cut the air. So quick they vanished that with greater speed none could have even uttered an amen. The master then thought fitting to proceed. I followed him, and short was our career. Before the sound of water so increased that one could scarcely make the other hear, e'en as that river which drives its source from Viso, then pursuing to the east, on Apennines left side, its separate course, called Acacheta, higher up. Before its waves adown the humble valley flow, at Forley bearing the same name no more, rebellows o'er St. Benedict on high, as from the Alps it headlong falls below, whence thousands might derive a full supply. Thus from the summit of a broken rock rushed the dark stream with such tremendous din, our ears had soon been deafened by the shock. Around my waist I had a girdle tied, with which indeed I once had thought to win the nimble panther of the spotted hide. Forth from my loins this girdle I unbind, obedient to my courteous guide's command, and gave it to him in a knot entwined. Then to the right he turned himself around, and cast it over from the lofty strand into the bottom of the gulf profound. I said within me, at this signal new, which thus my master watches with his eye, some novelty most surely will ensue. Alas, how cautious mortals ought to be towards those who not the deed alone espy, but by their skill the inmost thoughts can see. Full soon, what am I waiting for, he said, shall upwards come, and that on which now dwell the dreaming thoughts ere long shall be displayed. That truth which bears the semblance of a lie should never pass the lips if possible. Though crime be absent, still disgrace is nigh. But here I needs must speak, and by the rhymes, reader, I swear of this my comedy, so may they live with fame to future times, that through the gross and murky air I saw a monstrous figure swimming up to me, such as would fill the stoutest heart with awe. Like unto one returning that hath been to loose an anchor which fast grappling clings to rocks, or aught beneath the waves unseen, who gathers in his feet and upwards springs.